The line shuts
66.
Yeah. It had been empty for some years.
Oh, right.
It had been unstaffed from early 50s, but then had been let by BR to employees.
Oh, right.
And it was actually sold by BR, I think, in 1968. It had one more change of ownership in 1980.
Yeah.
And that is the family that we have just bought it from.
Right.
So they've been in there since 1980.
They've just retired, have they, sort of thing, and moved elsewhere?
Yeah, the elderly lady that it was always a long-term ambition of the railway, but of course the timing of it was never going to be in our gift.
No.
True.
And it's just
Quick
this
call
has all
to the
happened
bank
over the
call
last
to the
18
bank
months.
manager. Yeah.
And that's the track bed, is it not? Around to
The track bed is not where those folks are walking, it is in the trees.
Oh, right. Okay.
And actually it becomes clearer when you look from the other side, or when you go past in the train, and you can see that you can see a slight raised embankment.
Right.
Actually in the trees.
Ah, okay.
So no, it's not just there, it's to the right.
A little bit further
But
up.
yes, it
Basically
followed
follows
the
that
curve
curve.
of the hedge. And yes, yeah.
Across the road up there, was there still a road? Oh, went under, didn't it? At the tunnel.
There's a
That's
tunnel
right.
which
Yeah.
is still there.
Yeah,
but,
still there.
Yeah, yeah.
The boundary here, John, is presumably this. That's our boundary, is it? We don't own any of that.
No, we don't have anything outside, no. We'll try and keep together, just beware rough ground, or first the line here to start with. And we will go across some rough ground, particularly at the front of the house, and then uneven floors and steps within the building where you don't expect them. And there's a steep staircase as well, so to beware of. But if you don't want to do that,
So just to be clear, you're not liable, right?
That's the key message.
That's it. The company does not accept liable. You also serve for only standard and weight. Something like that, isn't it?
1960s photo of Newry Hill station that we put in RN recently, but it's got a black and white lamppost in it.
Well, I think we've probably already mentioned a lot of this before we started, because the building was built in 1875 for the opening of the Ryde Newport Railway. This actually is appropriately 150th anniversary year. Opened in December 1875, and so between the passing loop and the branch line up to the quarry, which we've already spoken about, and so the community it served was quite small, except on race days. Of course, with the grandstand in the field, the other side, adjacent to the branch, you know, the place would have been heaving on those particular days. and that all ended in the late 20s. I think the grandstand actually burnt down around about 1930ish. So the loop was taken out, just became a siding. The station building and platform used this side until, as I explained, subsidence issues in 1960, and new platform was built. The others reinstated the other side, and the track moved across, so that trains continued to serve Ashey. BR couldn't shut it. I mean, they'd shut Wootton and Whippingham, but they couldn't shut Ashey because there was no alternative bus service.
Okay.
So Ashey had to stay open until the line closed in February '66. And then the line stayed open for a few more months for goods traffic and engineers, trains, and the last movements through here would have been January '67. So the original entrance to the station would have been from the other side, where the steel gates are the other side, boarded crossing across the track to the end of the platform. So this entrance is a later feature. Now, as we head along, Southern Railway concrete fencing from the Southern Railway era in 1920. The intention is to rebuild the station to its 1926 appearance. Some brickwork from the original platform. So this would have been about the end of the platform here. Yeah, look, the building itself is in remarkably original condition. It has had a 1980s extension put on the back, which we will see later. But this front elevation is largely unaltered. So it's a mixture of parts of the building with a station function and part residence. But on the corner here, the signal box. So on the front gable, the three windows which the signalman had to look at, and what was probably, there may well have been a station clock in the triangle above. But no separate ticket office, there was just, in this wall back here, there was a little ticket window hatch. There is also a little bit later when we go through, there is also an outline of a door marked out, so there may have been a door there at one stage. But you bought your tickets from the signalman, as you did at Haven Street, but outside. There was no separate ticket office. The ticket office window was on the end of the signal box. This would have been the entrance to the station building, the waiting area. With the public entrance. Yeah.
So all this double glazing is coming out?
All, yes.
That's okay.
Everything will be, a lot of the window size, some are still original, a lot of windows have altered in size, and as far as possible it will revert to its original condition.
Original
So
design.
that would have been a waiting area, and then we moved to look at the two-storey area, predominantly. Well, yes, it's the house, that's the residential part. Is the station still existing? Yeah. And then we move on from the residence to the goods side, and the ground does get rougher as we continue on this one. So this, where the sign is now, was the entrance to the goods shed. This raised area outside was a modern conservatory, which was just taken down earlier this week. And
Still got the purple.
which I'm told has been disconnected.
Hopefully.
How long after you bought the place did you take the landia down? All these trees
It was done reasonably quickly.
quickly, yeah.
Well, it was partly to make it more visible what we were doing, but also, actually from a driver's point of view, you can actually see the crossing now. Because you just couldn't, you couldn't see the
There's a
crossing
safety
until you were on-
element
yeah.
to that, yes.
And until you were more or less on the crossing, you couldn't see anybody that was this side. Yeah.
Yeah. So that came down pretty sharpish.
And this was also goods area.
Heavily underused, I should think, wouldn't it? The goods.
One wonders, yeah.
Yes.
And the little slightly lower roof on the end, that was the gents' loo.
Will that be restored or?
Probably not quite to its original form. But we can carry on a little further along.
How much land to the north is there with the property?
The boundary was where the fence is that you can see and the hedge where you can see it. But the Holbrook family bought part of the field behind, which we'll see in a minute. But we'll get a better view of it.
So
we have got that.
a substantial
We've
part.
got several acres behind. here.
Several acres. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent.
That allows us the chance to perhaps rework the vehicle entrance,
Yeah.
so we could have the vehicle entrance further up, so we can hide parked cars
Yeah.
out of sight. Like that. But a lot of that detail has to be
Works out.
sort of be worked on.
Yeah.
But the general idea is that it will be a good quality, essentially the residential part and the goods shed will be a good quality holiday net. The signal box area, that station part, we will try and keep. But yes, the best use for it is as
An almost unique
as a holiday.
opportunity.
Yeah, what a wonderful.
Can you imagine any other heritage line that's been able to buy up property?
But the beauty of this is, you look at so many, a lot of stations survive over here on the island, but there are relatively few that haven't been hacked to bag substantially. This one hasn't. So we'll see in a minute the extension of the back.
It was meant to be, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
They must have enjoyed spending the money having to build that in 1960.
Oh, they would have just desperately wanted to close the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
That wasn't the idea.
So you can't see much trace of the old platform here. But then, looking beyond this, part of the Southern Railway's extension, which was a slightly higher level. And it is probably the higher level that we will need to comply with to run any trains through here now. But so that was the Southern Railway's extension.
They won't make you put yellow lines along the edge of the platform, will they?
And then we were speaking of the area of land behind here, which we acquired with the station. The boundary is just about. Yes, we've got an area of land in the field behind, virtually up to the White House, which you can see in the distance.
Complaining about the noise.
There are some steps back down there, at the back of the building, but again, watch the ground, it's pretty rough. Well, actually, before we go down the steps, you can see the little extension that was put on behind the gents' loo, and the flat roof extension ahead of us now. That's a 1980s edition. That will be removed. But if you look in the behind the chimney, you can see an area of tile hanging on the wall, and there was a little extension on the back of the original building which was removed when the later extension was put in. So the idea is that this flat roofed extension will be removed and the original section reinstated. We'll go down the steps here and we'll go into the building.
Still holds water.
No, I think so.
So this is the original well?
This was the original well over by the hedge, yes. Modern bit. It goes through into the goods area. Then watch for the changes in floor level with various steps where you're not expecting them throughout the building. It won't be in the shelves. One step at the end of the corridor.
Des res.
So they spent the money indoors.
Yes. So we've come through the modern bit now back into the original part of the building.
I think they're having a party out there.
So it's a good shed. This is a modern ceiling. We will open up the original timber roof structure behind, which you will see in the building in the room next door. Originally, this just had no floor, but it won't be when it's a holiday election. It will be.
Are you taking bookings yet?
On the floor heating.
You're taking bookings for this?
Not able to guarantee.
Not with a guaranteed date, but reserved.
We'll take a deposit.
First deposits against first reserve.
Are there any sort of times how long this work's going to take at all? It's a year, 2 years?
The next phase, we're trying to talk in terms of a couple of years, but the next phase will be doing the building, reinstating the platform. We'd like to do the platform at the same time because there's some serious work in that. But that won't include reinstating track at that stage. So the next phase will be, we'll do the building and the platform. Which, yeah.
It takes
that's
time.
A function of
It takes time and money.
As well.
Yes, of course.
Maybe, well, as good a time to speak about money.
Well, absolutely.
But even having further open days like today would count, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you're supporting us today by being here, by taking the interest to come here. The railway, the building and the land cost the railway 675,000. Financed partly by a commercial mortgage, partly from the railway's own funds. But we want to do the refurbishment work, and that's going to take a lot more. So overall, we're looking at a project cost of approaching £1.5 million.
No government help at all.
We are intending to, we have approached, informally approached Heritage Lottery. That is our intention to apply to them. As part of that, we will need to raise match funding, or a degree of match funding. To that end, we are trying to raise 200,000. And that's very critical to the next stage, going ahead and getting any further grants.
Presumably, if you were able to say to the National Lottery, we've already got 200,000, can we? That would help.
Yes, but if you have got that, but we so now intent on raising that. We've got to work up our detailed design proposals, talk to planning exactly what we can't do. We want everything in place before we apply for the grant. And to that end, the more money we have behind us in the meantime, and hopefully by generating interest, telling people what we're doing, folks like your good selves, grateful for any support you can give us. But it does mean the railway now has an original station building. Because the 4 stations we've got, one small never was a station. Wharton's on a different site. Haven Street's not original. Well,
1926.
Arguably, we've really got the original Haven Street at Wharton. But this is the only truly original station building. Whippingham, it's worth mentioning, they were identical buildings originally, but handed, mirror image of each other. But if you look at Whippingham today, you'll see modern extensions put on. But interestingly, they're identical design, but the mirror image of each other. This was the original size of the door opening, the sliding door, and we don't probably just a nice floor. So from here, we will go through into the residential. There's a step down, so beware. But one thing you will notice as we go around the building is the number of fireplaces. I think it was either 12 or 14 in total. So as part of the restoration, we've got a source a dozen or more period fireplaces. Excuse me, you're going up. I'll leave you to it.
I can't. Passing loop.
We will have to come back that way in a minute.
The counter.
It's the old day, isn't it?
So when Graham's group have gone, we'll go through into the waiting room. And again, there's another small step up this time, so beware. Having said waiting room, we think that this was possibly an office originally. The waiting room public part here, this side of the wall. Yes. Various things left by the previous owners.
Is there any idea how many people are visiting today?
There were 300 booked for tours,
300 booked for tours?
which I think was that was the limit. But I might be wrong, but I think
Gosh, there's a lot.
300 booked today. Plus those who were riding on the train.
Plus, yeah, it's plus, 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 I think, yeah. It's great.
Yes, and then we go through into.
It's amazing to get the building back like this, even though it's more than really intact.
Yes, we're hoping one day we could be able to get a frame to go in the new signal box at school.
So this was a signal box?
This was a signal box. So the lever frame would have been along here, and all the signalling here carried through under the end of the platform.
And this is to be reinstated?
As far as we can. But it won't be a complete signal box to start with.
No, no.
It'll be a later phase.
Yes.
Then this time we had a door marked out there, but there was the ticket window hatch, which more or less behind you. Yeah.
There's a lovely picture of that ticket hatch on your website.
Yeah.
Absolutely cracking one.
Like Haven Street, it was the signalman that sold tickets there. And, but I can't imagine that the signalman was overworked selling it.
You probably had a nice garden.
He probably had to dust them off, dust them off first. Yes. So yes, this was the heart of the railway bit.
Are there many old surviving tickets in the collection from Ashey? Oh, there's a lot of tickets.
There's a lot of tickets.
Ashey will be
the guys that look after the ticket on the day.
We got over
Continually.
5,600 tickets.
Yeah, they continually looking for tickets. But it's never, the collection's never really been put on display. But the railway has got it. Quite an extensive.
We're still collecting.
Yes. Yeah. Scouring eBay and auctions.
And some of them are rather expensive as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
We pay those prices sometimes.
Yes.
I think there's a cup of tea or something.
God, this is a room with a view for the railway, isn't it? Wowee.
The tragic is the room next door, which has got another lovely window.
So this would have been originally the station master's bedroom.
Yes,
This part.
This upper floor area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's going to be opened up to the ceiling, is it? That's going to be opened up through.
Well, no, this is probably
Original.
as it was.
Oh, right.
Fantastic, isn't it?
It is.
That's fab.
Yes, we've seen it for like that. It came like rocks. And do you know, we've got that in our bedroom. It's where the dressing table was, not the...
Quite handy layout of bedrooms and bathrooms and work. We don't have that detail if you're able to support us in any other way, we'd be very grateful. And you know, I or any other of my colleagues would be happy to talk to you further if you wanted to. But you've supported us by coming here today. Thank you. Please follow as the project develops, hopefully over the coming months. And thank you for your support. And
Thank you.
you know, if you'd like a print, as I say, they're available
Yes.
the other side of the line. And that's a specially commissioned one that's only just been seen for the first time today. So.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for a wonderful trip round.
That sales picture's been recorded, John.
That's the worry.
And it was a tour from the A team as well. Yes? You got it.
We got it all.
You got it.
Right, here we
Can
go.
I join you, ladies? Come on in. We'll let this chap have the corner win.